Excuse me. Hey guys, welcome to my review of The Suicide Squad, written and directed by James Gunn. And if you're wondering that the guy who made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies was pretty much just going to do the same thing but with a rated R DC team, that's pretty much what this is.
What?
With all the jokes being super juvenile, and there are a lot of songs piled on top of one another in here, as well as a lot of colorful scenes. But the only difference would be the rated R element. You know, without the fucks and the blood, there's pretty much no difference. Now, there are some things in this movie that I actually did like the cinematography was undeniably good, as well as the color palette. Those two mixed beautifully. But the action was especially cool, and particularly with Harley Quinn and Bloodsport, and even sometimes Peacemaker. Some characters in here that I thought I wouldn't like that I actually ended up caring for. Mainly more of the performance than the character development itself. But, for example, Ratcatcher 2, played by Danielle Machere, I thought she did really well, and I don't really know her for much, so I really hope that this goes well for her and explodes her into the media. Idris Elba did pretty good, Joel Kinnaman did pretty good as Rick Flag, and to my own surprise, Polka Dot Man, played by David Dastmalchian. Like I said before, it wasn't so much the character development as much as the actors themselves and their performances, if that makes sense. But I thought those four excelled far more than the rest. But other than that, the rest kind of gets watered down with the rest of the characters, the constant jokes, and all the pretty unbelievable scenarios. Like, some of the characters in here go off on their weird, isolated, short-lived ventures that lead to nowhere. They kill off a lot of characters just for a quick joke, kind of like a Deadpool 2 kind of thing. And I also keep hearing that it's called a dark comedy. To me, dark comedy is more like a comedy about dark reality, such as cancer, war, death, famine, etc. This is more of like a Pineapple Express scenario, where it's just like a rated R comedy, not necessarily dark comedy.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
And this movie has a lot of bullshit moments where they're really hard to believe. Like the Task Force X crew in this movie is pretty much the Office cast, where everyone's goofing around. They're incompetent, unprofessional, out of place for what is basically the criminal version of SEAL Team 6. Like Amanda Waller in the original was far more threatening and competent, and in here it's kind of sad and a little embarrassing. And I guess all of it kind of comes down to taste. I generally don't care for comic book movies that tend to be more action comedies, like Thor Ragnarok and the Guardians of the Galaxy, pretty much all the Marvel movies, because they tend to lean too much into the comedy and not enough into development, tension, or believability. And this is pretty much that. To me personally, it just feels like what you would think a rated R Guardians of the Galaxy movie would look like. And if you like those type of movies, if you like movies where you just go and you turn your brain off and you just kind of have dumb fun, then you'll probably really like this movie, honestly. And that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own taste. I tend to like more where everything's taken a little bit more seriously, like Man of Steel and BVS or Watchmen, because I feel like those movies are going to last a lot longer than, you know, some quick laughs here and there. So at the end of the day, I would have to say this movie is okay. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, and at the end of the day, it was an okay watch. If you prefer the more serious stuff, you'd probably rather watch it on HBO Max. If not, I think it would be a good time to go actually see it in the theaters. But that was my review for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Let me know down below what you guys thought about this movie. Did you love it? What parts of it did you love better than the original? Let me know down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.